طيب بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. مرحبا بكم مرة أخرى، مرحبا بكم. ونستمر حقيقة في تلك الجلسات الخاصة بملتقى السفر والاستثمار السياحي السعودي لعام 2018، والذي افتتح برعاية كريمة من صاحب السمو الملكي الأمير سلطان بن سلمان بن عبد العزيز آل سعود رئيس الهيئة العامة للسياحة والتراث. كثير من أوراق العمل تحدثت عن هذه الصناعة، وتحاول قدر الإمكان أن تعزز من زواياها المهمة وترفع من قدرات وكفاءة المستثمرين في هذا المجال. اليوم أو هذه الورشة أو هذه الجلسة ستهتم بشكل رئيسي حول تكامل وتوازي قطاع الضيافة مع بقية القطاعات المختلفة من خدمات الراحة والاسترخاء واحتياجات الامن والسلامة والحلول والادوات التقنية، وكذلك الصيانة وادواته والمعدات، وكذلك التشغيل والتدريب. وايضا النقطة الاهم قد تكون وهي استقطاب العلامات التجارية في الضيافة والجانب التسويقي والاتصالي في الموضوع في تكامل وتوازي قطاع الضيافة مع بقية القطاعات. سيشاركنا في هذه الجلسة مستر مارتن كوبلر، وهو محاضر ومدير متخصص في الشراكة الاستراتيجية. أيضا فرانكلين فرناندز خبير في صناعة السفر والسياحة. وأيضا سيحضر بعد قليل الأستاذ رمزي معايطة، وهو مؤسس وشريك ليفنت الاستشارات. وأيضا مستر سمير بقول وكيل حجوزات سياحة إلكترونية في الشرق الأوسط، وتكون خاتمتها مسك بإذن الله مع الأستاذة جمانة الشاولي، وهي مساعد الرئيس التنفيذي ورئيس قطاع التسويق والاتصال المؤسسي بجبل عمر. نبدأ بمستر مارتن كوبلر حول كيف ترى هذا التكامل في قطاع الضيافة، وكيف ترى دور قطاع الضيافة في استقطاب العلامات التجارية والتأثيث والتصميم الداخلي والتشغيل والتدريب بشكل عام.
Thank you very much. Also, just to say thank you for the welcome to Riyadh. Very quickly, before I get into the question, some of you who live here and who work here all the time, they might say, how has tourism in Saudi changed in the last 5 years? So when I first came to Riyadh in 2013, my mother said, when I told her, my mother said, why do you want to go to Riyadh? Why do you want to go to Saudi? Now I told her I'm going to Riyadh again. You know what she said? Please ask somebody how I can get a tourist visa. Okay, I want to go and see. That is how much progress has been made here, and from an outsider perspective, it is very obvious. Okay, so now moving on to this question, and then it ties in neatly with the progress that has been made in tourism, with the opening up. Now we're looking at the hospitality, the tourism industry as a growth motor, as a growth engine for other industries, for other areas in society. And we've seen this in many countries where tourism can really provide the energy and the growth also for other industries. If you get more tourists in, they will go and see more sites. They will use the transportation, they will use the restaurants. Some might come back and do other business once they have seen how open the country now is for business. So it's very important to not just look at hotels and to not just say, I've got a building here, I've got a building there, I'm going to make a hotel out of it, and this is what it's going to be like. You have to think, okay, what role can my hotel or what role can my hotels play in society as a whole? Every good hotel has to be part of a community. What are you giving back to that community, and how much are you using the success, we hope, of your hotel for the overall good? And there is a big potential. And if you just look at the young people joining hotels, being exposed to tourists from all over the world, that brings with it a change in mindset, a change in language skills, which is very beneficial in many other areas, okay, of the country. In regards to attracting hotel brands or hotel management companies, hotel operators, I spend a lot of time working with building owners who say, here I have a building, I want somebody to manage it. Okay, no problem. We get you a management company, they come, this is the contract, you sign it. Then what happens? After 2 months, owner will come and say, but revenue, it has not gone up yet. Cost, it has not come down yet. Don't be impatient, okay? You have to spend the time to find the right management company, the right operator for your property, and then you have to work with them as a partner. Really, as the owner, over time, your input should diminish to some extent. If you pick the right management company, they will do all the hard work, but it's not going to happen overnight. So the impatience or too much interference once the operator, the management company is at work, will often lead to misery. And that's really...
Thank you so much. شكرا مستر مارتن كوبلر، محاضر ومدير متخصص في الشراكة الاستراتيجية، على حديث فعلا على تكامل تلك القطاعات مع قطاع الضيافة، وفعلا اهتمام هذه القطاعات في تعزيز قطاع الضيافة ورفع كفاءتها وقدراتها. المتحدث الآن سيكون مستر فرانكلين فراندنز، خبير في صناعة السفر والسياحة، وهو أيضا سيستمر في الحديث عن دور هذا التكامل في تعزيز قطاع الضيافة خصوصا في المملكة أو على مستوى العالم ككل.
Thank you very much. First, I would like to thank you for the invitation. It's my first time in Saudi Arabia, in the kingdom, so it's very exciting to be here, so thank you very much for the opportunity. I would like to start off with a video, if it's possible.
Yes.
This is just to show you in 1 minute about my country. I'm from Chile, that's in South America. So this is 1 minute of what my country has to offer.
Imagine a little paradise full of tremendous landscapes. Imagine feeling like the whole world is all yours. Breathe deeply. Then let your breath be taken away. Now, imagine the people who live here, people with stories, with their hearts and arms wide open. Chile is just like its people, just like its landscapes. Chile is open nature.
Well, that was just a breath of Chile. I'm the Dean of a Hotel, Tourism and Culinary Arts School in Chile. It's the biggest university in the country. We have 26 campuses located all throughout the country, from Arica to Punta Arenas. There's a 5,000 kilometer distance between those campuses. So you can imagine how difficult it is to standardize and to be able to teach the same programs to students that are spread out in so many different regions with so much difference in geography and culture also. This difficulty is also added with our natural disasters. We are very well known because of our tsunamis and our earthquakes. And unfortunately, those have provided destruction to what is our natural heritage. So it's good to see that here in the kingdom, you're looking after your heritage. As we have difficulty to be able to show our natural heritage to others, to foreigners and people that visit us, we have to work on what we have today. And what we have today is the people. And what can we show the people that visit our country and that don't visit our country is our food. Our food is to be converted into one of our strategic actions to be able to attract tourists to the country. Food is not only have to be eaten at restaurants, but also in the hotels. Hotels should be able to distinguish and be able to show what is the cultural significance and the importance of that region, of that city, in that place. In our school, we work in each of our campuses together with the local community, together with the government and all the stakeholders. And we develop different initiatives in order to help with different goals that our government has and the UN governments, the Sustainable Development Goals that our country has signed. One of those initiatives that has impacted the local hotel industry has not taken place in the main city of Santiago. It's taken place in a very small town 2,000 kilometers away from Santiago, the capital city. A small fishing cove that's called Puerto Seco, which is dry port. This is located an hour and a half away from a big city which is on the coastline called Iquique. The geography of the region is a desert, and in the desert, people would say there's not much nature. And that was the impression of the people that we took to this place. We invited international speakers and other experts so that they can help us identify the opportunities that this district, this region of the country, which is characterized by the desert, could be able to offer to those that were visiting Chile and this part of the country. In this activity, where we did different workshops, where we taught farmers, fishermen, local tour guides, chefs, and restaurant owners and hotel owners, in which way they could all collaborate together, in which way they could all interact together. After these workshops and seminars, we did an activity outside, and we took them to this fishing cove, which is located an hour away from that city. When they got there, they asked the people, what's so special about this place? And the people that lived there, and they've been living there for a long time, really didn't know about what they had. They were only worried about their production, all the fish that they were extracting and the sea mussels they extracted every day, and they sold to the big intermediates that later on sold to the different hotels of the city of Iquique. After spending a whole day working with them there, they were able to realize that they had much more richness and much more natural heritage present in that place that they did not realize. When we went out to sea, we were able to see whales, dolphins, penguins in the north part of our country. The penguins are very particular. You could see them easily in the south part, in the Patagonia, but not in the north. But we also have penguins up in the north. Well, after seeing that spectacle, we were able to connect the fishermen with the owners of the different restaurants and of the hotels of the city of Iquique. And they were able to negotiate directly with the hotel owners and with the restaurant owners. So no longer did they have to sell their products to the intermediates, where they paid a really low price. This time they were able to sell their products to the direct place where they will be served later on. So this experience was exciting and was also fulfilling, not only for the people that lived there, but also for the people that were from around the area and didn't realize all the beauty and all the nature that was there. So this little fishing cove doesn't have a hotel, it didn't have a restaurant, but now, 6 months later, the first restaurant appeared, and some of the local villagers that are living in that place are beginning to develop their own housing to receive those tourists that would like to spend some time, more than just one day, in that area. We've developed a recipe book so that people could also discover the different produce that is available in that place, and so that people from the whole region can also learn about the produce and of the production that is available and what recipes can be taken from the heritage of what those people living there had and that have been keeping on from previous years from their families and previous generations. So all this work developed also into a new travel experience, an experience that shows the beauty of the desert, which is filled with life, but you have to stay a bit longer to be able to see it.
Thank you. Thank you so much Mr. فرانكلين. شكرا فرانكلين فرناندز، خبير في صناعة السفر والسياحة، وحديثه حقيقة عن تلك الزوايا المهمة في توازي قطاع الضيافة مع بقية القطاعات المهمة تكلم عنها، وتجربة أيضا جنوب أمريكا تشيلي في هذا الموضوع. الآن سيتحدث الأستاذ سمير بقول وهو وكيل حجوزات سياحة إلكترونية في الشرق الأوسط، وأعتقد يعطينا رأيه في المجال التقني على وجه الخصوص، والحلول والأدوات التي توفر الوقت والتكاليف في قطاع الضيافة. فما رأيك مستر سمير؟
Thank you so much, Fahad. So, just before I start, I just give a quick background of what we do. So, ClearTrip is one of the largest online travel company in India and Middle East. We started 10 years ago and primarily focus on selling online air tickets and hotels and activities more recently, right? Of course, are the largest business. Hotels is something which is growing. We have large hotel distribution in India as well as now growing in UAE. So UAE is our kind of hub for the GCC countries. We have business across all the 6 GCCs, and we've been working with various hotel chains, for many years now. In India, we have kind of directly integrated or other contracted almost 30,000 plus hotels. In UAE, we're working with more than 500 hotels directly, and now the objective is to kind of expand in Saudi as well. It's fascinating to see huge growth in Saudi over the last couple of years, and today I was surprised to see that there's a lot more focus that's coming up specifically on the domestic tourism, and we are happy to bring some of the learnings that we had when we actually continue to grow in specifically in the Indian market, because I see a lot of similarities. And earlier presentation we saw that there's a huge opportunity. I mean, someone from Colliers was talking about it in terms of the growth for the kind of mid-market segment, specifically in the 3-star and 2-star category, right? And that's where a bulk of inventory is going to come over the next few years. And so primarily I would probably talk about 2 kind of opportunities or the areas of integration, right? Primarily on the revenue side. Of course, there are 2 main areas: revenue and the cost side. On the revenue side, we see a huge potential for hotels. Obviously, hotels been working with multiple vendors and products, right? And obviously, we know that food, all the kind of for the guests, right? In the in-house experiences with its spa, gym. I mean, these are some of the areas where the hotels are tightly integrated. But if you look at specifically the spend pattern of the travelers, right, almost 40 to 50% of the spend of a leisure traveler generally happens outside the hotel, right, which is largely for activities. And again, I can bring my kind of observations primarily from UAE, which is largely focused on the inbound tourism, and majority of the tourists when they come in, like 40-50% of the spend really goes into booking the activities, right? So I think for us the opportunity was that, look, how can the hotels kind of get a larger share of this revenue, right? I mean, most of the hotels generally have a kind of a travel desk in there, which basically essentially pays rent. I mean, of course, it's a revenue, but not that serious revenue. And at the same time, you give out that opportunity to somebody else of rather owning your own guest experience, right? So there are opportunities in the sense that we kind of approach some of the hotels. We are working with close to 20-25 hotels in UAE to basically enable them to gain the share of these particular spend which happens outside hotels. So we kind of created a white label for travel activities. We work with pretty much 500 activity suppliers in the UAE, and we started offering these particular products and services to the hotels directly through a white label solution, which basically means that now hotels can actually take 50, 60, or even 70% of the revenue that a typical travel agent or a travel desk would earn through selling activities, right? So that's that's a new revenue challenge, and that's definitely much higher than the typical rent that they get. At the same time, they get they get to kind of maintain a very good experience and integrate the experience within their entire brand experience, right? So I think that is something which the hotels, I believe, here in Saudi Arabia, given that there's a huge focus on the domestic tourism and the products that are being built here for the tourist market, right, in the next coming years, right? The other thing that we are successfully doing and have done in the past is basically distribution. Obviously, that's what we do well, right? And when I'm going back to what I said, right, majority of the inventory that's going to come up in Saudi over the next 5 to 10 years is going to be that 3-star and maybe even 4-star category hotels, where distribution will always be key, because there will be a lot more competition. Some of the brands may not be well known, so I believe the intermediaries like OTAs or Google, for example, or TripAdvisor are going to play a much more important role in distribution of these kind of inventory. And I mean, of course, I mean, first of all, the region itself is new for tourism. The various areas that are getting developed are new. Within that, how would people even know that which hotels to stay and which resorts and what are the opportunities to basically consume over there, right? So I think it's a foregone conclusion in my mind, at least, that the intermediaries will play an important role. That would mean that the hotels and hospitality industry needs to integrate with the technologies available for that distribution, right? So something which we kind of did was basically enabled specifically the non-branded hotels, right, which basically had very low penetration of technology. They had no access of channel managers or GDS systems, right? We kind of created a mobile platform, enabled them, and also on the front end, helped them kind of develop their own mobile website, mobile optimized apps, and basically enable them overnight to basically distribute their own content, integrated backwards with the various channel management platforms, OTAs, the aggregators such as TripAdvisor I talked about. So it's basically like really enhancing the distribution landscape for the hotels, but at the same time, maintaining their own brand, right, and getting their own brand visibility through use of technology. So I think these are the areas of integration we see that will probably evolve here as well, and pose a huge opportunity for various other companies and technology companies to integrate and provide these solutions, right? So yeah, I mean, these are a couple of things. I mean, there are we had one session on future, and I would probably want to take just one aspect of that. And I've seen this specifically in North America now, and also Europe, kind of things changing, specifically the 5-star hotels. The two main pain points are really the check-in and check-out, right?
Yeah.
And I can borrow some of the experience, right, which we see in the airline space, and today specifically in UAE, right? Today, if you are checking into an airline, it's pretty seamless. You hardly go to the check-in desk. You basically straight away walk into the kiosk. Either you take your boarding pass, or you have mobile. You just walk into the check-in process. You go to the immigration, again seamless with biometrics in there, and you just walk into the plane. I mean, if this has happened, I still wonder sometimes why hotel industry is so behind when all these technologies are available. So I think in future, I really believe that with probably blockchain is the talk of the town, but it's not just talk of town. It is actually the technology which will enable that the integration of that digital identity. I mean, people need not carry a physical ID ever, right? I mean, you yourself are an ID basically, right?
Yes.
Your iris scan, your fingerprints, your face recognition technologies are already evolved. It's somebody has to go and integrate it, and you will see that in the next few years, you will actually just walk into a hotel, just to a kiosk, get your boarding kind of key card over there, and just walk into your room, right? And this is the kind of process and progress that we want to see.
ثانك يو ولبي ان شاء الله مستر سمير. شكرا جزيلا سمير بقول على ما ذكر. حقيقه فيه جزء من الافكار الذكيه حقيقه في التكامل التقني بالذات، وصناعه المنصات الالكترونيه لخدمه قطاع الضيافه ومستقبلها التقني. نختم بحديثنا حقيقه عن بالذات استقطاب العلامات التجاريه وغيرها من التحديث عن التأثيث والتصميم الداخلي والديكورات الفنادق واثرها، مع المهندسه جمانه شاولي، وهي مساعد الرئيس التنفيذي ورئيس قطاع التسويق والاتصال المؤسسي بجبل عمر. استاذه جمانه، كيف ترين حقيقه اول شيء تجربتكم في جبل عمر، وهذا جزء من الاستقطاب اللي تم في العلامات التجاريه، كيف ترين تكامل وتوازي قطاع الضيافه مع بقيه القطاعات، خصوصا في مساله التسويق وجذب والاتصال بشكل عام؟
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أول شيء أشكركم على الملتقى الجميل هذا، ونشكر هيئة السياحة على الاستضافة الكريمة. لا شك أنه قطاع الضيافة يمر بمرحلة كبيرة من التطور، وهذا الشيء طبعا مع التزايد المستمر في أعداد الحجاج والمعتمرين وضيوف الرحمن، ليصل إن شاء الله إلى ما يقارب 30 مليون حاج بعام 2030. فلاحظنا في جبل عمر الازدياد في طبعا الطلب على الغرف الفندقية، وخاصة في المنطقة المركزية بمكة. فكانت آلية جبل عمر في هذا الموضوع هو استقطاب نخبة من الفنادق العالمية عشان تكون ضمن مشروعنا في مكة المكرمة. طبعا فلسفتنا هي اختيار أفضل الفنادق من مختلف مناطق العامة، وخاصة من المناطق اللي فيها كثافة إسلامية. إن شاء الله يعني تم التعاقد مع مجموعة من الأوتيلات ذات 5 نجوم، منها شانغريلا، فور سيزونز، أوبيروي، ودبل تري، بالإضافة إلى فنادقنا الموجودة طبعا fully operational في المرحلة الأولى اللي هي كونراد وحياة وماريوت وجبل عمر هيلتون وهيلتون سويتس. هذا باختصار هي فلسفتنا في استقطابنا للانترناشونال اوبريتورز عندنا في الموقع. المعايير هو التنوع في اختيار الاوبريتورز، بحيث انه احنا نقدر نرضي اكبر شريحة ممكنة من الناس، خاصة في مدينة زي مكة، وفي يعني منطقة very centralized وقريبة من الحرم، وأغلب زوارك من يعني سواء حجاج أو معتمرين. فهنا أنت you have to cater to a very wide range of customers إذا صح التعبير. بالنسبة لأهمية التصميم المعماري وأهمية التصميم الداخلي في الفنادق، طبعا هي أقدر أقول أنه هو حجر الأساس أو الخطوة الأولى لنجاح أي فندق، خاصة في المناطق اللي فيها المساحة أو مساحة الأرض تكون محدودة، زي أي منطقة تكون سواء وسط المدينة أو المناطق اللي هي metropolitan areas. عندنا طبعا إحنا في هذه المنطقة المركزية في مكة، فالمساحات محدودة، وطبعا الذكاء في التصميم المعماري مطلوب جدا، والوجهات المطلة على الحرم، وكيف الواحد يعني يعمل المبنى بطريقة معينة بحيث أنه تكون وجهاته مطلة على الحرم بزوايا مختلفة ومطلة على الكعبة المشرفة. هذا مهم جدا، فهذه واحد من أهم المعايير. عندنا في المرحلة السابعة بإذن الله، طبعا المشروع عندنا 7 مراحل، انتهينا من المرحلة الأولى، والمرحلة الثانية والثالثة شبه منتهية. الآن أطلقنا الحجوزات في برج العنوان اللي هو ذا أدرس، وطبعا بعد كده عندنا المرحلة الرابعة والخامسة والسادسة. في المرحلة السابعة عندنا الفندق الفور سيزون، هو يعني طبعا صمم على يد أكبر المصممين العالميين، شركة فوستر اند بارتنرز البريطانية، وأخذ جوائز كثيرة في براعة التصميم، منها جائزة استلمناها Arabian Property Award قبل فترة قصيرة. فالفندق صمم بطريقة ذكية جدا بحيث نستفيد من جميع الزوايا، تكون مطلة على الحرم المكي الشريف وعلى الكعبة المشرفة، وبحيث يكون في كل جناح مصلى صغير مطل على الحرم. فهذه غير طبعا المعايير اللي احنا نتبعها في التصميم الداخلي، والمزج ما بين التصميم الحديث وما بين المودرن architectural methods مع تراثنا العربي ومع التصميم الحجازي، بحيث إنه إحنا ما ننسى الروحانية وما ننسى spirituality in design. فهذه واحد من أهم المعايير اللي إحنا نتبعها في التصميم ويتبعوها مهندسينا أو الشركات اللي بتشتغل معانا في التصاميم.
طيب سؤال أخير بحكم الاتصال المؤسسي والتسويقي، هل هناك مجموعة من الفعاليات تقدم داخل الفنادق في جبل عمر لجذب النزلاء والسياح أو المعتمرين والحجاج مثلا عندكم بالذات كجزء من الدعم؟
أنا سعيدة أنك سألتني هذا السؤال. إحنا الآن طبعاً داخلين على موسم رمضان، وإحنا عندنا موسمين. طبعاً السنة كلها نعتبرها موسم واحد مهم جداً بالنسبة لنا، لكن رمضان وفترة الحج من أهم المواسم عندنا. بإذن الله في رمضان راح يكون في full activation plan للمشروع بالكامل. جبل عمر ليس مجرد فنادق، جبل عمر عبارة عن destination متكامل. أنا أحب أسميه مدينة a city within a city، مدينة داخل مدينة. جبل عمر في الفنادق، في أسواق الخليل، في المرافق تجارية، في كمان وحدات سكنية، فهو يعني أشبه بحي سكني أو منطقة سكنية متكامل مجاورة للحرم. الاكتيفيشن بلانز اللي عندنا سيريس اوف ايفنتس، طبعا مجموعة من الفعاليات سواء كانت في الأسواق أو في الفنادق. كل فندق له طابع معين يحب يتبعه في رمضان، وليه مجموعة من الفعاليات في شهر رمضان. فغير طبعا عندنا الهيلتون كونفنشن كمان حيكون فيها إن شاء الله قريبا. حتشوفوا هذه الدعوات للفعاليات في السوشيال ميديا بإذن الله.
جميل، حقيقة شكرا أستاذة جمانة، فعلا كانت يعني معلومات هامة حقيقة في دور التأثيث والتصميم الداخلي، وكذلك مجموعة من الفعاليات الإضافية التي تخدم وتعتبر متكاملة ومتوازية في قطاع الفندقة. وأعتقد أن جبل عمر تعتبر المشاريع المهمة جدا في المملكة العربية السعودية، نفتخر بها ونفتخر بالتطور الذي تم خلال هذه المرحلة. شكرا لك جمانة. أعتقد أننا انتهينا من هذه الجلسات، نعطي فرصة ل10 دقائق لأسئلة. تفضل سيدي.
شكرا. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. شكرا لهيئة السياحة لإقامة هذا المؤتمر والمعرض، مفيد جدا، وشكرا على الدعوة وشكرا للمتحدثين المميزين. I would like to thank the distinguished panelists for their talk today. And my question and my comment is to Mr. Franklin Fernandez. Thank you for the clip that you displayed in the beginning. I wish it was a little bit longer, but I would like to draw the attention of everyone. To my left, behind me, there is also a booth that has 4 or 5 clips about Saudi Arabia. Each clip is about 1.5 to 2 minutes long. It's worthwhile seeing. Mr. Fernandez, my question to you, sir, is your hospitality staff. I'm sure most of them are locals. And my question is, what is the main language that they are dealing with? And how important was it for Chile to teach them other languages? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, our main language in Chile is Spanish. Unfortunately, our second language is English, but only 5% of Chileans speak a good level, a proficient level of English. So in the hospitality field, English is a must. And all hotel owners, managers want staff that can manage a high proficiency of the English language. So, well, most of the schools that today are teaching for future professionals in the hospitality industry are forced to teach students that come with a very poor background in English, in the English language. So it's very difficult. We've tried different projects and initiatives to be able to reach that proficiency. We've brought in English teachers from the United States, from England, from Australia, but still that's not enough. So one of the initiatives that is thought to be more effective is that our students could live an international experience abroad. But that is very expensive, and not all of our students have the economic background to be able to finance that kind of experience. So yes, it's very difficult. There is a huge, commitment of the government to be able to help the schools so that students can reach higher proficiency in English. There's fundings, there's some scholarships, and also what we're doing, and is another initiative that could help, is that English is not only being taught in the English lesson, we're also taking English to other lessons that are more related to the business, so that students don't isolate the language in just one lesson, so that they could understand that English is throughout it all. So that makes it easier for them to be able to understand, and later on when they do their internships or when they work in the hospitality field, they can have a better English. But today it's a must. Hotel owners, managers, they ask for it, or even they think it's even just included.
شكرا لكل المتحدثين، شكرا لكل من شاركنا اليوم. يشرفنا الآن سعادة الأستاذ عبد الله بن عبد الملك المرشد نائب رئيس الهيئة للتسويق والبرامج لتكريم المتحدثين في هذه الجلسة السادسة التي كانت عن تكامل وتوازي قطاع الضيافة مع بقية القطاعات. فليتفضل الأستاذ عبد الله بن عبد الملك المرشد مشكورا على مشاركته معنا، فحياك الله. شكرا مارتن كلوبلر، وهو محاضر ومدير متخصص في الشراكة الاستراتيجية، درع تذكاري بهذه المناسبة يقدم سعادة الأستاذ عبد الله بن عبد الملك المرشد نائب رئيس الهيئة للتسويق والبرامج. مارتن. Yes. Thank you مارتن. فرانكلين فرناندز خبير في صناعة السفر والسياحة. فرناندز. Thank you فرناندز. سمير بقول وكيل حجوزات سياحة إلكترونية في الشرق الأوسط. Thank you سمير. أيضا الأستاذة جمانة شاولي مساعد الرئيس التنفيذي ورئيس قطاع التسويق والاتصال المؤسسي بجبل عمر. شكرا لكل المتحدثين في هذه الجلسة عن تكامل وتوازي قطاع الضيافة مع بقية القطاعات. بقينا في درع لي أيضا درع مقدم لي. شكرا جزيلا لكم، أنتم أجمل درع تقدمون لي، يعطيكم الف عافية. أنا أشارككم، الله يعطيكم الف عافية.